Making headlines this hour, President Dr. Mohamed Muiz returns to Male following a multi-day tour of inhabited islands across Vavo, Mimu, Fafo, and Ta atolls, underscoring his administration's commitment to community-led development and direct engagement with island constituencies. President Dr. Muiz reiterates his administration's unwavering commitment to eradicating corruption and ensuring full accountability. And President Dr. Muiz reaffirms the Maldives' commitment to shaping a sustainable, people-centered, and innovative future for the nation's tourism sector.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Abdullah Ahil. And now the news in detail. President Dr. Mohamed Muiz returns to Male following a multi-day tour of inhabited islands across Vavo, Mimu, Faf, and Ta atolls, underscoring his administration's commitment to community-led development and direct engagement with island constituencies.
The visit featured consultations with island councils, women's development committees or WDCs, institutional leaders and residents. Joined by cabinet ministers and senior officials from key government agencies, the president facilitated discussions on local priorities and public welfare concerns. Officials also provided updates on ongoing projects and invited input on future initiatives, reinforcing the administration's emphasis on participatory governance. Several infrastructure programs were formally launched during the tour. Among them were the introduction of Rajya Transport Link or RTL high-speed ferry operations, airport development schemes designed to strengthen the national transport network, and the rollout of Bank of Maldives ATM services, now operational on every inhabited island within the 4 atolls. These efforts align with the government's population consolidation policy, under which new housing developments, educational institutions, healthcare facilities, and sports infrastructure were unveiled. Measures to support the fisheries and agriculture sector were also announced. The president outlined plans to reinforce the national healthcare system within 6 months, signaling a strategic shift in service delivery. Development efforts were distributed across the 4 atolls with measurable outcomes. In Ta atoll, where the president visited 13 islands, 29 projects were initiated, 12 completed, and agreements for 20 new projects were signed. Faf atoll saw the launch of 13 projects, the completion of 6, and the signing of 10 new agreements. In Meme Atoll, 13 projects were initiated, 2 completed, and 6 contracts signed. Vav Atoll recorded 5 projects launched, 4 completed, and 4 new agreements formalized. In Ta Atoll, the expansion of police services reached completion with the inauguration of a police desk on the island of Omadu, marking full coverage of the atoll. The administration maintains that a nationwide police presence will significantly bolster efforts to build a safe and peaceful society. Officials confirmed that ATM services have been successfully established and completed on all islands across the 4 atolls, ensuring broader access to banking for residents. President Muiz described the primary objective of his visits as direct engagement with citizens to identify their needs, a goal he said was well achieved during the tour. The administration concluded the visit by reiterating its commitment to grassroots consultation, affirming that sustained dialogue with local communities remains central to its governance approach.
President Dr. Mohamed Muiz reiterates his administration's unwavering commitment to eradicating corruption and ensuring full accountability.
Speaking to the community of Timarfushi Ta atoll, the president affirmed that he will ratify the Asset Recovery Bill immediately once the parliament passes it and forwards it for ratification. He stated that government agencies will begin actively pursuing all individuals involved in major cases of theft and corruption from the moment the bill comes into effect. The president explained that the primary purpose of the Asset Recovery Bill is to address the long-standing difficulty of reclaiming funds from individuals implicated in large-scale corruption and theft cases investigated in recent years. Highlighting the government's broader efforts to eradicate corruption, President Dr. Muiz noted that the Maldives 2.0 digitalization project represents the largest initiative of its kind, designed to transform governance systems and close off avenues for malpractice. He further assured that his administration would not exert influence over the judiciary or independent institutions, emphasizing that their independence is a fundamental principle. He stressed that the government's role is to enable these institutions to carry out their responsibilities effectively, while urging the Anti-Corruption Commission and the Prosecutor General's office to expedite their work. The president also referred to the Auditor General's report on the misappropriation of $142.66 million through Fenica Corporation Limited, describing it as a deeply regrettable incident. He confirmed that the Maldives Police Service has commenced the necessary investigations. He said he had instructed relevant authorities to expedite the investigation. President Dr. Muiz reaffirmed that no one will be exempt from accountability, pledging to act with fairness and justice in every case. He concluded by underscoring his determination to root out corruption and safeguard the freedoms now enjoyed by the people of the Maldives.
President Dr. Mohamed Muiz reaffirms the Maldives' commitment to shaping a sustainable, people-centered and innovative future for the nation's tourism sector. In his statement marking World Tourism Day, the president highlighted that the success of the industry, through which the Maldives has become a global leader in hospitality and tourism, was a testament to the vision and determination of its pioneers. He noted that this year's theme, Tourism and Sustainable Transformation, aligned closely with national priorities, promoting progress while ensuring that tourism remains a force for positive change. In this regard, he pointed to significant advances towards building a more inclusive and sustainable model of tourism with diversification at its core. Over the past few years, the Maldivian tourism sector has expanded into less engaged atolls and diversified into new areas, including halal tourism. The president stressed that these efforts were supported by major infrastructure projects, such as the new international terminal at Villana International Airport, or VIA, which he said was in line with the nation's broader development goals. He extended his heartfelt gratitude to all those working tirelessly in the sector, emphasizing that their dedication and service are what truly set the Maldivian experience apart. He added that the future vision for the sector rests on the hard work, unwavering commitment, and invaluable contributions of these individuals. Concluding his message, the president renewed his commitment to shape a sustainable, people-centered, and innovative future for Maldivian tourism. The president also shared World Tourism Day greetings on his official X account, reiterating his commitment to building a future where progress and sustainability go hand in hand. Minister of Tourism and Environment Tariq Ibrahim issues a call for collaborative action to champion sustainable tourism practices in the Maldives.
In his address delivered via video message on World Tourism Day, Minister Tariq, highlighting the Maldives' ascent to a world-class tourism destination, attributed this success to the dedication of those within the sector, emphasizing its continued growth and vital role in the nation's economic and social development. This year's World Tourism Day theme, which advocates for tourism development alongside environmental stewardship, cultural preservation, and inclusive societal benefits, resonated strongly with the minister's message. He noted that global tourism is a colossal industry, with international statistics revealing a staggering $1.6 trillion in revenue last year and an anticipated 3 to 5% increase in tourist arrivals this year. This positive trajectory is mirrored in the Maldives, where significant strides have been made in integrating environmental protection with tourism development. Minister Tariq underscored the imperative of actively promoting sustainable tourism, urging all all citizens to commit to safeguarding the nation's rich culture and pristine environment for generations to come. He reaffirmed the government's commitment under the initiative of President Dr. Mohamed Muiz to bolster sustainable tourism. The minister also assured further investment in infrastructure, innovation, and marketing to solidify the Maldives' position as a sustainable and inclusive tourist destination.
The Maldives has been elected to the Executive Board of the United Nations Committee of Experts on Global Geospatial Information Management for Asia and the Pacific, or UNGGIMAP, marking its first term in the regional body's leadership. Mohammad Shafi, Director General of Geomatics at the Ministry of Finance and Planning, was appointed to the board for the 2025 to 2028 term during the committee's 14th plenary meeting convened on Friday in the Republic of Korea. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs confirmed the appointment in an official statement. His selection was reached by consensus among committee members, placing the Maldives alongside representatives from Armenia, Australia, Fiji, Iran, Japan, Malaysia, Mongolia, Pakistan, the Russian Federation, and Tonga. The executive board members comprises 15 members, including 2 co-chairs and 3 vice-chairs. It is charged with overseeing the committee's strategic direction and operational coordination. The Minister of Fisheries and Ocean Resources, Ahmad Shiam, says the safety and security of Maldivian fishermen have been a paramount concern for President Dr. Mohamed Muiz's administration since its inception.
This commitment was underscored by the recent inauguration of the first ever hyperbaric center in Guraidu, Ta Atoll by President Dr. Muiz himself. Lauding the landmark move in a social media post, Minister Shiam highlighted the significance of this new facility designed to treat diving decompression sickness, a critical concern for those engaged in maritime occupations. He stated that this marks a historic first for the Maldives, with the government expressing a strong intent to establish more such centers across the country in the near future. Minister Shiam emphasized that the government has been proactively developing and implementing specialized policies aimed at enhancing the well-being of fishermen. A testament to this, according to the minister, is the program to train at least 1 rescue diver per fishing vessel, which saw 56 divers certified last year alone, with further training underway this year. He further asserted that the current administration is undertaking numerous critical initiatives for fishermen's safety that have not been undertaken by any previous government, contributing to positive changes across all industries in the Maldives.
And now we bring you the call to prayer for Isha.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة والدرجة الرفيعة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته وارزقنا شفاعته برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
ಕುರಿಮಗುಸಲ್ಲ ಮೀಗೆ ವಿಹಿಯಾರ್ ಫೌನ್ ರಶುಗೆ ತರಗ್ಗಿ ಒಣ್ಣಾಣಿ ಕಿಹಿನೆ ಕುರಿಮಗುಸಲ್ಲಾಕಿ ರಶುಗೆ ತರಗ್ಗಿಯಾಮೆದು ರೈಯುತುಂಗೆ ಖಿಯಾಲ್ ಹೋದುಮ ಬಾವಾ ಬದ್ದಲ್ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ತಿಯ ಬೇಫುಳುಂಗೆ ರಶುಗೆ ಕುರಿಮಗು ಕುರಹಾಣಿ ತಿಯ ಬೇಫುಳುಂ ಖಿಯಾಲ್ತಕ ಉಮ್ಮಿತ್ತಕಾಯಕ ವಡಾನ್ನವ ಮಿ ಮಶರಾತುಗ ಹುರಿಹಾ ರೈಯುತುಂ ಇಸ್ ರವ್ವೆಹಿನ್ನ ಜುವಾಣು ಬ್ಯಾರ್ ವಡಾನ್ನವ
विदुम तेरी राज
Welcome back to our English news program. We continue with the headlines. The Election Commission or ECM announces it will proceed with the election for the Maldives Media and Broadcasting Commission next month, assuring the public that the exercise will be fully managed within its current budget and require no additional resources. The opportunity to contest these elections, slated for the 11th of October, is now open, with applications closing at 2 p.m. next Saturday. Speaking on PSM News Rajami of the program, ECM President Mohammad Zahid emphasized the EC's commitment to conducting the election comprehensively, akin to larger electoral processes. Zahid further clarified that the elections would not necessitate any additional budget or staff, with existing resources proving sufficient to manage the process without challenges. Despite acknowledging it as a minor election, he stressed that the ECM would ensure the validity and integrity of the results, leaving no room for doubt. The upcoming election aims to select 4 members for the new Media Commission, 2 representatives from broadcasters and 2 from other media sectors. Interested candidates are encouraged to submit their applications before the deadline next Saturday afternoon. The Department of Judicial Administration, or DGA, issues an urgent appeal to individuals interested in contesting the upcoming Maldives Media and Broadcasting Commission elections, urging them to submit their request for judicial record clearance at the earliest.
The Election Commission of Maldives, or ECM, has set the election date for the new Media Commission for the 11th of October, with the application window closing at 2 p.m. next Saturday. A critical requirement for all applications is a clean criminal record. The DGA is currently working diligently with the courts to expedite the record clearance process. DGA has highlighted that the National Criminal Record Portal is not yet fully populated, meaning courts must manually clear individual records. This process, the DGA warns, can be time-consuming, and applicants have been strongly advised to submit their requests well in advance of the deadline. To ensure their records are processed in time, the DGA has specified that all requests for record clearance must be submitted by 1 p.m. this Thursday, adding that submissions made after this deadline may not be cleared by the ECM stipulated cutoff date. Interested parties can submit their requests through the department's dedicated portal. 4 members will be elected to the 7-member Maldives Media and Broadcasting Commission, comprising 2 representatives from the broadcasting sector and 2 from other media fields. Candidates must be at least 30 years old and possess a first degree in media or policy making or equivalent experience of 5 years in the field. However, media editors and officials are not eligible to apply for membership.
Insights into business. U.S. stocks ends higher after mostly in-line U.S. inflation data, but indexes posted losses for the week.
The Personal Consumption Expenditures, or PCE, price index increased 0.3% in August, matching estimates of economists polled by media outlets. In the 12 months through August, PCE inflation increased 2.7% after climbing 2.6% in July. Solid U.S. consumer spending in August underscored the economy's resilience. Market participants have been concerned about economic data this week, weighing signs of a stronger economy against expectations for more interest rate cuts from the Federal Reserve. The Fed last week cut rates for the first time since December.
Today, we're seeing in the markets a positive reaction to the PCE data this morning that came out at 8:30. That is the Fed's preferred measure of inflation.
Also, shares of truck maker PACCAR, which makes most of its truck for the U.S. market domestically, rose a day after President Donald Trump unveiled fresh import tariffs, including on heavy-duty trucks, branded pharmaceutical products, kitchen cabinets, and bathroom vanities, along with upholstered furniture. The S&P 500 gained 38.98 points, or 0.59%, to end at 6,643.70 points, while the Nasdaq Composite gained 99.37 points, or 0.44%, to 22,482.07. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 299.97 points, or 0.65%, to 46,247.29.
Britain's UN envoy says United Nations sanctions on Iran are set to be reimposed after Russian and Chinese Security Council resolution to delay them failed, prompting Tehran to warn that the West bore responsibility for any consequences.
The decision to restore sanctions by Western powers is likely to exacerbate tensions with Tehran, which has already warned that the action would be met with a harsh response and open doors to escalation.
So the result of the voting is as follows. 4 votes in favor, 9 votes against, 2 votes abstentions. The draft resolution has not been adopted, having failed to obtain the required number of votes.
The Russian and Chinese push to delay the return of sanctions on Iran failed at the 15-member UN Security Council after only 4 countries supported their draft resolution. All the UN sanctions on Iran are due to return after European powers, known as the E3, triggered a 30-day process accusing Tehran of violating a 2015 deal meant to prevent it from developing a nuclear weapon. Iran denies seeking nuclear weapons.
The E3 and the United States bear full responsibility for the serious consequences of today's decision. By ignoring facts, spreading false claims, misrepresenting Iran's peaceful program, and blocking diplomacy, they have actively and intently paved the way for dangerous escalation.
Diplomats had said the resolution to delay sanctions for 6 months had been unlikely to pass after last-ditch talks between Iran and Britain, France and Germany failed to break a deadlock. 9 countries voted no while 2 abstained. The sanctions would restore an arms embargo, a ban on uranium enrichment and reprocessing, a ban on activities with ballistic missiles capable of delivering nuclear weapons, a global asset freeze on travel bans on Iranian individuals and entities, and would also hit its energy sector.
Europe spoils the party and took a big step toward retaining the Ryder Cup on foreign soil by grabbing a 5-1x2 to 2-1x2 lead over the U.S. at Bethpage Black, where President Donald Trump paid a visit to support the home team. The party atmosphere that many American fans showed up early for was short-lived as Europe took the morning foursome session 3-1 before taking the afternoon four balls 2-1.5 to 1-1.5 to leave plenty of blue on the Bethpage Black scoreboard. According to Elias Sports Bureau, the Europeans, who are seeking their first away win in the biennial event since 2012 and require 14 total points to retain the trophy, have won each of the last 6 Ryder Cups in which they led after day 1. Not even the arrival of Trump, who was on hand to watch the afternoon matches get underway and even emerged from his secure area to fist bump American golfer Bryson DeChambeau at the first tee, was enough to spark the home side. Elias Sports Bureau also states even Scottie Scheffler was far from his dominant self as the American joined Tiger Woods and Ian Woosnam as the only players ranked number 1 in the world to lose twice in the first day of a Ryder Cup. Justin Thomas, the heartbeat of the American side, did his part as he and Ryder Cup rookie Cameron Young, playing in his home state and on a course where he won the New York State Open as an amateur in 2017, combined for 7 birdies and 13 holes and a 6 and 5 4-balls win over Ludwig Aberg and Rasmus Højgaard.
Yeah, I mean, in massive. I don't think John has lost in a team, one of the team, the 4-balls or foursomes since Paris. You know, he's an incredible leader for us on and off the course, mostly, you know, with the way he plays, leader.
The day's final match, which pitted Northern Ireland's Rory McIlroy and Ireland's Shane Lowry against Patrick Cantlay and Sam Burns, came down to the last hole after the Europeans let a 2 UP lead slip over a 2-hole stretch on the back 9. History is not in the hosts' favor, especially considering that under the current 28-point format, the only team to overcome a 5-1x2 to 2-1x2 deficit or worse to win a Ryder Cup was the 1999 American squad captained by Ben Crenshaw.
And that's all the news we have for today. We'll be back with any further updates. Until then, I'm Abdullah Ahil from PSM News.